In the heart of a bustling city, a woman noticed a stray cat wandering the streets. It appeared like the cat had been surviving alone, fending for itself among cars, pedestrians and harsh weather. Despite the odds stacked against him, he had a gentle look in his eyes that seemed to plead for help. What would happen next to the cat? Would he be adopted? Be sure to keep watching. Seeing the cat's fragile state, the woman couldn't simply walk by. She brought food, placing it in a spot she knew the cat would find. With each meal, the cat grew a little braver, allowing the woman to come closer. Knowing she may have some underlying conditions, the woman made a decision to take the cat to a veterinary hospital for medical examination. The result was dire. The veterinarians found a cancer growth in his body, and it required surgery immediately to ensure his chance of survival, due to its malignant nature of the cancer growth. Thus this began a journey that would test both the cat and the woman's strength and resilience. Every week without fail, she took him back to the vet. There were weeks when he required injections to manage his symptoms, other weeks where checkups and scans were necessary, and times when he needed monitoring to ensure his health hadn't worsened. Each visit brought hope and worry alike, as they waited for signs of improvement. The constant medical visits were not only time-consuming but also costly. It was overwhelming, but the woman's compassion kept her going. She began reaching out to friends, family and community members, hoping someone might be willing to help. Thankfully, one person did. A kind individual who offered to assist with the costs of the cat's surgery. The surgery was a turning point, but it wasn't a simple procedure. The tumor was malignant and removing it required careful, delicate work. The vets were dedicated, aware of how much this meant not only for the cat, but also for the woman who had stood by him so faithfully. When the day of the surgery arrived, she felt both hopeful and anxious. She knew that his life hung in the balance, and all she could do was hope for the best. After hours of waiting, the surgeon emerged with an update. The operation had gone well, and they had managed to remove the tumour. Relief washed over her, knowing that this gave the cat a chance to finally heal without the constant threat of the tumour weighing him down. The road to recovery would be long, but it was a new beginning for him. In the weeks that followed, the woman continued her unwavering care. She brought the cat to his follow-up appointments, making sure he was healing as expected. The bond between them grew with each visit, and he started to show signs of comfort and affection. He began to purr softly when she was near, and would nuzzle into her hand when she reached out to pet him. It was as if he knew that she had given him a second chance at life. One day, as they returned from a routine checkup, the woman opened the door to her home and let the cat step inside. He cautiously entered, exploring the new surroundings with wide, curious eyes. From that day on, he found his place not only in her home but in her heart. Now, he lives happily with the woman who rescued him, free from the pain and fear that once haunted his days on the street. Though he has a scar where the tumour was removed, it serves as a reminder of the battle they fought and won together. His story is a testament to the power of compassion and the difference it can make in the life of an animal. With each passing day, he thrives, surrounded by the love he had always deserved but never knew he could have. This journey of hope and healing reminds us all that sometimes a single act of kindness can change a life forever. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, consider giving us a like, tell us what you think in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.